Hey guys, welcome back. So I thought I would take an opportunity to sit down and film the answers for my Q&A video, which I posted like a month ago. I apologize it has taken me so long. We've had a ton of stuff going on with the adoption and just getting the kids back in the routine of school and all that kind of stuff. So I'm so sorry that it has taken me so long to sit down and answer these questions. But alas, I am here and I'm going to answer them. First question is from Misty, and she said, will you share your testimony? I have no problem sharing my testimony. However, I feel like that would probably be best suited for its own video. That way those who want to watch and hear all of that can. So I will film that in a separate video, so those who want to watch it can, because I kind of have a lot to say about it, so it would take up most of this video if I tried to incorporate it here. But yes, Misty, I will do that. And there was a few thumbs up on that, so obviously more than just one person wants to see it, so I will definitely film that. And then my lovely friend Erin asked, what is your favorite thing about each of your children? Okay, let's see. My oldest daughter, Kennedy, my favorite thing about her is that she is truly one of the most compassionate people I've ever met. Like, not just for a child, or I'm not just saying that because she's my child. She is very, very, very compassionate, and I love that about her. She really cares about the feelings of those around her. She just has a very giving heart, and I just adore that about her. I think it's going to serve her well in her life. And then Shelby, my favorite thing about her is her sense of humor. She reminds me a lot of myself, like at her age. She's a typical middle child, and she's just funny. She just knows how to make you laugh, and she's goofy all the time, and she's very like kind of lighthearted, and nothing is ever too serious for her. Like, I just love that she keeps things kind of joyful and fun. And then Noah, I would have to say my favorite thing about Noah, he's about to turn 4. If you've ever heard that quote, I cannot remember who said it, but the quote is, I am your mother, you are my child. I am your quiet place, you are my wild. And to me, that is like so appropriate for Noah, because he is my wild. Like, he has taught me so much about just being like, I don't know, I just feel like he teaches you to like not take yourself too seriously, to have fun. Just has like no inhibitions, which can kind of drive you crazy at times, but most of the time he's just such a fun kid, and he's so happy-go-lucky all the time. And more than just his personality, obviously his adoption process and everything taught me so much about love and what it means to love somebody. And a lot of people ask, you know, can you love an adopted child in the same way that you love your biological children? And the answer is absolutely yes. And Noah taught me that. Noah taught me that love is not about blood. It's not about DNA. Our family just would not be the same without him. And then Jonah, I would say my favorite thing about Jonah is he has the most infectious smile and laugh. I mean, that kid is just, he's just so precious. I can hardly stand it. Like, we go out in public and he flashes that grin at people, and they just cannot help but smile back and laugh. And he will go through the store, and if he sees somebody and they're not looking at him, he'll be like, hi, 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 until they look at him and pay him attention. Like, he is such a ham. And he really does just like bring me so much joy. And I'm so very thankful for him, because God just kind of dropped him in our laps at a time when I was really hurting, and just been such a blessing. Like, he's not the child we thought that we were going to get. As many of you know, we were in the process of adopting, and the birth mother changed her mind. And I was really heartbroken, and I was still kind of grieving the loss of that child when Jonah came into the picture. And he just healed me and really helped me to understand that like God's plan is so much better than our own. Like, I can't imagine my life without him. And I am so, so thankful that God's plan was different than what I thought it was going to be. She said, what is your favorite thing about your husband, physical and non-physical? Let's see. My favorite thing about my husband physically, well, he's in shape. He's a good looking guy. I have to admit though, like, he has this nice little round bubble butt. I know this is probably like totally TMI and inappropriate, but my husband's got a nice booty and I like it. Anyways, and then non-physical, definitely his sense of humor. Like, we make each other laugh. We have so much fun together, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. Like, I know that even when we're old and gray, we are still going to be having fun together and laughing together. And that is what I love about him, is he keeps things lighthearted. When I tend to get serious on some things, he can bring me back to the funny side of it. And then Ashley said, how did you guys decide that adoption was right for you? Yes, really, it comes down to, I always kind of knew I wanted to adopt. It was something that was always on my heart from the time I was a teenager. Then when I really started to understand that like there's children all over the world that need families, And nobody asked them if being abandoned was right for them. Nobody said, do you want to be an orphan? It just happened to them. And so I feel like there's a lot of people that kind of have this little inkling in their heart to adopt. And I just wish more people would just jump in with both feet, because you won't regret it. It's been the most amazing thing that has happened to our family. And I will encourage, with the last breath I have in my body, I will encourage people to adopt, because it's not the easiest thing you've ever done. I won't lie to you and tell you that. It's hard. It's really hard. But it is the most amazing thing we've ever done. And then she said, is your hair color natural or dyed? It is definitely dyed. I haven't really seen my natural hair color since I was about 13. I started dyeing my hair. But my natural hair color, you can kind of see it here. It's just like what I call dishwater brown. It's not blonde. It's not like a nice rich brown color. It's just kind of like this very mousy brown color. But this is a dyed color. Although I will say, I think this is the color that I should have been born with. God doesn't make mistakes, this I know, but I think this is the color I should have been born with, because this feels like me. And then Michelle said, what would you tell a mom of two, 16 months apart, that is debating homeschooling? I would say pray about it, talk to your husband, and really just spend some time trying to decide if it's right for you. It's hard for me to say whether or not it is. Everyone's circumstances are different. But homeschooling is an amazing thing, and we really enjoyed homeschooling. And the big thing is that if you do it for a year and you're like, oof, this was terrible, this was a horrible idea, then you can enroll your kids in public school, or you can send them to private school. You're not locked in. So if you do it for a while and it's just not right for you, then you don't have to continue. Or vice versa. If your kids are in public school and you're like, this is not working for us, then pull them home, homeschool them for a little bit, and see if that works better for you. I really do think it can definitely be like a trial and error thing. You can try it and see. Joyful Chaos asks, who's your favorite sister? In case y'all don't know, that is my sister, Ashley. She has a channel called Joyful Chaos. I have two sisters. So I can't pick a favorite. That's not even fair. Next question comes from Anna, and she said, I'm brand new to the idea of homeschooling. What's your best book recommendations for homeschooling moms? Particularly, is there a book that compares types of homeschooling, tells you the basics of everything so you know what they mean? I will be 100% honest. I have not read a bunch of books about homeschooling. I think it was a little easier for me to come to the decision to homeschool because I was homeschooled. So I didn't have the same fears that everyone else, or that people who have never been homeschooled themselves. So I love everything that Sally Clarkson writes. I'm not even 100% as to whether or not she actually homeschooled her kids, but I love her books as an encouragement for moms, and I definitely take a lot of it and apply it to our homeschooling life. And then as far as a book that compares the different, like Charlotte Mason versus the other types, again, I wish I could tell you. Maybe I'll do a little research and see if I can list something down below in the description box for you guys to look at. I will say, if you Google the types, I could almost guarantee you 100% that another homeschooling blogger has written a post explaining the different types and what they mean and how to figure out which one is best for you. Some of my favorite homeschooling bloggers are 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 and Confessions of a Homeschooler. Both of those websites are awesome. They have so much great information. They do a lot of curriculum reviews and things of that nature. They are homeschooling bloggers. So I would definitely try out those websites first and see if you can find anything. And then also Google and Pinterest are great. Diety D says, what places would you like to visit and why? Oh, I have so many places I want to visit. I'm not necessarily, don't get me wrong, I would take a tropical vacation, but I'm not the kind of person that's like, I just want to go to Bora Bora, or I want to, do that. I want to go and see different things. I want to go to Egypt. Like, I want to see the pyramids. I want to go to Israel. I go to Italy. Santorini looks amazing and beautiful, and that's just a selfish, I just want to see that. There are lots of places I would love to travel, and I will say I have loved that part of our adoption journeys is, I'm getting ready to go to China in a few months, and I have been looking up different places we can go and things we can see while we're there. I love experiencing other cultures because I think it gives you such, an appreciation for what we have here. I think we tend to kind of just get this tunnel vision and think that the life we have here is the life that people have in other places, and it's definitely not. Going to Congo was by far the most life-changing experience I've ever had, and it has pushed me forward with perspective in my life to look at everything that I do. And I am the first one to mentally correct myself when I am feeling like frazzled by something or upset by something. I'm the first one to say, Angie, remember when you were in Congo and this happened or that happened and you saw how people lived, or you really want to complain about that? So I feel like traveling and experiencing other cultures and people really just helps make you a more well-rounded person, a more compassionate person. Not that you have to do those things, but I've enjoyed them, and that's what I kind of enjoy about traveling, is really experiencing different people. Diana said, can you talk personal finances? No need for real numbers, but how do you guys budget with a big family? This is something that is evolving for us because, as many of you know, I left my photography job in July, and so we are just a few months into being a one-income family. We were a one-income family for a long time, and then I started my business, and I did that for about 5 years. So it's been a big adjustment for us, and we're still learning. I mean, we have our basic budget, which is just, our basic bills, but then I feel like we also always have the added thing of, it seems like every year for the last few years we've adopted, so, our extra income of any kind is always going there. But we try to, we don't have cable. We just use Netflix. That's one way that we save money. We're always, we shop around for the best prices for insurance and things like that so that we can save the most money. And then for us, the biggest place that we save money is when we are diligent about meal planning and grocery shopping off of a meal plan and then making those meals each week. That's the biggest place that we save money. Feeding a family of 6 is not always easy, and it's not something you can go way over budget by just simply like, oh, I don't feel like fixing dinner, let's go out to eat. That can totally blow your grocery budget. We are still very much learning, so I'm not really a good person to give anybody any great tips about that at this point. But I'm happy to share as we move along through being a one-income family, kind of things that we learn and pick up. I'm a big hand-me-down person. If someone ever offers us hand-me-down clothes, I always take it. So hopefully that answers your question. Sheridan said, do you have any tips for new YouTubers? I very much consider myself a new YouTuber. I've really only been putting up any kind of consistent content, which you guys know that that's a very fluid term for me. But for about a year now, I really kind of started caring about and working on my channel last fall, so I'm kind of at the year mark now. I think putting out videos about things that you care about and you actually want to talk about is really important. I find myself getting in ruts when I try to make videos about things that I don't really want to make a video about, that feels forced. So I try not to do that, even if it means that I take a few weeks break from putting up a video. I do that so that the videos I do put up, I can feel good about and feel like I'm putting out content that I want to be putting out. And then, second to that, I think most people say this, try to be as authentic as you can. I know it's hard sometimes sitting in front of a camera. I have a camera like a foot from my face right now, and it's a little awkward, not gonna lie. But still trying to be like as authentic as you can to your personality and who you are. My favorite YouTubers to watch are the people who I feel like didn't spend a ton of time contriving this video. They just sat down and filmed it, and it was very kind of authentic to who they are. Stephanie said, I'm going for the silly question. Would you rather have no elbows or no knees? I think I'm going to go with no knees. I don't know I assume if you have no knees, that means you're in a wheelchair. I think I would rather be in a wheelchair and still be able to use my arms than to not be able to use my arms. Yeah, I'm going to go with no knees. And then she said, would you rather have a head 2 sizes too big or 2 sizes too small? Too small, for sure. Sneeze every 5 minutes or burp every 5 minutes? I love these questions. I definitely sneeze, because if you're walking out in public, you're walking through the mall, if you burp, that's just not like socially acceptable here. But sneezing is. Sneezing is like, oh, God bless you. Oh, God bless you. Burping is not, people are going to look at you like, yeah, really? Living against the current. She asked, what is your daily schedule like? I actually just filmed a video kind of covering our homeschool schedule, which I feel like pretty well covers what our daily schedule looks like. So I don't know if that video is going to go up before this one or after this one, probably after. But when it's up, I will link it and you can watch for that. It just kind of covers, from like 6 a.m. until the afternoon, what our schedule looks like. Jennifer said, what are your best tips to homeschooling on a budget, or what are your homeschool essentials besides a curriculum? Homeschooling on a budget, I would say definitely look for a used bookstore that sells homeschool curriculum. We have one here that's specifically for homeschooling, so you can get a lot of great deals on used curriculum. And there's tons and tons of free resources online. If you use Pinterest, you can find a lot of things. A lot of like homeschool bloggers will put out free printables for things that they've created. I've already mentioned 1 + 1 + 1 = 1 and Homeschool or Confessions of a Homeschooler. Those are both two of my favorites. And then the Moffat Girls. I will try to link all of those down below. The Moffat Girls has a bunch of really cool curriculum supplements and packs and things like that that are not expensive, and you just print them out. Hopefully I don't butcher your name. Xenia? She says, I don't comment on your videos, but I enjoy watching them. I have a few questions. What does your husband do for a living? He works in the banking industry. He does like lending authority for underwriters, that kind of thing. That's about as much as I know. I used to know what he did very well, but as he's moved up through his company and stuff, I've become less and less aware of exactly what it is that he's doing, but something along those lines. What did you guys study, graduate in college? I went to nursing school and sadly dropped out before I finished. And then my husband studied business and has his undergraduate degree in business. What is your favorite restaurant? Anything Mexican. I love Mexican food, so almost any Mexican restaurant is a-okay with me. I also love Bonefish Grill and Chipotle. Yeah. Now I'm hungry.